I am Jamye Price, and I have been obsessed with ascension for over 2 decades now, and teaching light language and crystalline soul healing, which is a modality that's based on Lemurian concepts that I created many years ago. I have a book opening to light language and light language oracle deck called the Cosmic Consciousness Ascension deck. And I also channel the Lyrian Council of Time called Ariane. And so that is where all of my obsession is. So Lemuria holds a really special place in my heart because when I first heard the word, I immediately started sobbing, just sobbing, and I had no idea why. And so I thought, wow, that's unusual. I'm just going to step back and give it some time. So about 6 months later, I went back to the same website. This is back in the early 2000s. And went back to that page that had Lemuria on it. And again, I started sobbing and sobbing. And I thought, okay, well, things will unfold as they're meant to. And over the course of about the next 8 or 9 months, I had a series of visions that were connected to Lemuria. And my memory of that time is working on a crystal, which we would consider a computer, where we're inputting information and we're reading information from it, but it was a crystal. And as I was working with that, I was getting information about research on the effects of love on DNA. And that I knew was a Lemurian memory. And I could see myself sitting there. I could see my posture. I could see outside. It's like I could see the wall through the walls, which I assume is probably part of just that vision capability. Meaning, since I was seeing it from a vision, I was getting other information, but I could see outside and I would see these ships that would travel. And I knew that we could travel to other planets from Lemuria. And that kind of started that whole opening of deeper connection to Lemuria for me. And of course, the first time I visited Mount Shasta, I was just so enthralled with the beauty and the connection there. And it felt like a similar connection. Like there's energies here and love here that is reminiscent of that time. Light language is a natural capability that we all have to be able to receive and emit nonlinear communication. And when we do that, we are accessing a natural part of our biomechanism, but it's different than how we use our brain to communicate with words that we've memorized and contextualized. So it's our natural capability to be able to tune in, receive, and express vast, nonlinear, multidimensional information. And because it's a natural capability that we have, as we increase our frequency, the availability and the interest in light language is expanding rapidly. And I love to see that expansion happening because it is something that is so natural to us. And one of the exciting things about it is we are so accustomed to communication with linear words that whether it's written or you're hearing it spoken or sung or signed, we are having to reference our direct communication with multidimensional communication. So it's helping us to understand how the world around us is constantly communicating with us by first taking the spoken word, like we would normally speak, and stretching that into light language or song or the written word or our body movements. So it's helping us to bridge our own multidimensionality applied into something that we experience here every day, our natural communication. in the workshop that I'll be offering in Mount Shasta, I'm working with a concept that Ariane, the Lyrian Council of Time, has been bringing up for about a year and a half from that time. In June, it will be about a year and a half. And they've been talking about a lot of the physical changes that we've been going through in order to attune to this natural upgrade that we're experiencing. And they call it the tri-wave brain flow, meaning instead of having more of just a dominant double hemisphere, we are creating a vortex of energy that is helping to flow a greater connection with the subconscious and the frontal lobe. So it's helping to open up more of that nonlinear flow, because instead of just the duality, we are starting to very physically experience that blend into triality, or the three becoming one, which is what we always are experiencing with duality. But from our physical perspective, we see it in separation. There's me and there's you. I'm separate from you. But that third thing is the connection that's between us, that's invisible, that is unknown at first, and then we start to experience it with our deeper senses. And that's what I want to bring up in the workshop, is really activating that infinite heart mind. And that's part of what that tri-wave flow is doing, is it's creating much more coherence with the heart mind complex, and that subconscious mind connecting more directly with the frontal lobe helps to tune us in to the consciousness and the subconscious, where we will often think of the subconscious of, oh, well, that's where we're less evolved. That's where all the fear and trauma is stored. And part of that is absolutely true. And yet the work of ascension is to move past the trauma and integrate that into more empowerment, so that there's not that separation between the frontal lobe or the consciousness and the subconscious. And in that way, as Ariane shows it, we start to experience the subconscious as the vast connection that it is. And we know that it has that. We know that we're experiencing a lot more information, and the conscious mind is aware of a very minute portion of that. And so this infinite heart mind, or that tri-wave brain flow that I'll be working with in the workshop, is all about tuning us into the infinite heart mind, where it's much more commonplace that we are tuned in to that vast connected energy. And to me, that's what our ascension is all about. One of the most special things about the event is gathering family together in Mount Shasta. So it is such a unique place. Coming from someone that lives in Sedona, which I love, I also love Mount Shasta. That energy there, it's like we are all held in the mountain. You are not only feeling the family that you're meeting in the people that are presenting there, the people that are attending there, you create that family, but we tap into our Lemurian family, those that are still in telos, those that are the non-physicals that are connecting with us in other ways. So to me, the most special thing about it is that reunion feeling, that we're immersed and nurtured with eons of family.